And who am I? That's not a secret I'll never tell. You know you love me. XOXO. Gossip Girl.
What's up? We got Gossip Girl, Season 5, Episode 18, Con Air. Or Con Air, where it's supposed to be based off of a Nicolas Cage movie, but I guess it's supposed to be based on how Ivy is a con artist, but she's also heir to Cece's estate, so that's why it's named. But it's basically spelled the same way as Con Air, the movie starring Nicolas Cage. This episode starts off with Serena doing the usual Gossip Girl narration. Serena doing the usual Gossip Girl voiceover, narrating the opening of her new blog post. Meanwhile, Blair is at Dan's house dressed in lingerie, waiting for them to consummate their relationship. But her plans to consummate are basically stopped when she finds Lily, Rufus, and Will having breakfast. Lily offers to let her join, and Blair agrees. At the Empire, Jack and Chuck arrive back after some spending the night partying. Chuck asks that he's dedicating a wing at the hospital in Jack's name as a thank you for Jack donating the blood that saved his life after the car accident. Terrible Ed Westwick impression, I know. But yeah, back in the loft during breakfast, Lily is complaining how her life in Brooklyn is and asks Will to find a solution. If he's found a solution yet, he says, the will is legally fine and there's nothing he can do. Rufus jumps in that he and Lily have a meeting with Bruce Campbell later, and that that's better if they get their legal options from an expert. Lily says they can't let Ivy get between them. They can't let Ivy get between them. And Dan suggests that they leave quickly to get a jump start on their day. Outside, Lola receives a call from Ivy asking if she saw what Lily and Serena said about her in The Spectator. Ivy recites the article how they said her father's favorite overdose sparked her life of criminal behavior and she says she isn't a criminal. Lola replies she isn't sure if she is or isn't, and that it might be best if she stopped calling her. At The Spectator, well, I don't know if I should defend Ivy, but it was mean of Serena and Lily to basically say that. That's awful to say, that basically the reason she's a criminal is because of her father's death. That is awful to say. Even if you do not like this girl, that is still terrible to say. Like, even if you don't like Ivy and think she's a criminal, saying that her father's fatal overdose is the reason she is the way she is a terrible and awful thing to say, even in the news. So Serena and Lily, I don't know where you get off talking to someone like that, but you need to stop. Even if I'm not an Ivy defender and I agree that Ivy did do some bad stuff, but I don't agree with their decision to basically say that her father's tragic passing was the reason why she's a criminal. That is awful. But also on Ivy, you technically are a criminal because not only did you fake to pretend to be someone else, which is a criminal offense, you also stole the trust fund of the person that you were pretending to be. So yeah, definitely you are a criminal, but I do agree with her saying that I do agree that blaming her why she's a criminal on her dad's death was wrong, and I don't agree with that one. At The Spectator, Lola arrives with coffee for Nate. She runs into Serena, who asks if she would be willing to be interviewed on a story she's writing about Ivy. Lola says she doesn't want to get involved, but Serena argues that she already is since it was her identity that was stolen, since it was Lola's identity that was stolen. Lola again says Nah. And Serena takes the hint. She then walks to Nate and says, while she wants to try and fit into her family, she doesn't know how. Nate asks if she ever called William back since he's the executor of Cece's estate, and he's close with the family and might have some idea. Lily agrees with that idea and wishes Nate luck on his big investor meeting. Meanwhile, but she agrees with the idea, not knowing that Will Vanderwoodson is her father. I wonder when Lola will learn this information, because, we know that Will's her father. Will wants to help find her father, knowing it's him. This is basically them redoing the Raina storyline. But at least, unlike with her mom being dead, was alive. This is basically them redoing the Raina storyline from season 3. From season 4, I think it was. Yeah, season 4. This is them redoing last season's plot, but this time with Lola instead of Raina, and this time with her mother being her mother being her father, and her father being alive while Raina's mom was dead. But still, they're basically just redoing the exact same storyline again. Have the writers run out of ideas? I already basically don't like this season. I like it. I just don't like how they made the characters dumbed down for the plot. They're basically redoing storylines. Have the writers run out of ideas for this season? Because it basically feels like their solutions are make two out of the main characters dumb idiots. Serena this season is proven to be a dumb person. Nate's later one in the 2 episodes later down the line, in episode 20, Nate is dumb, and Lily was dumb episodes ago. So Dan, Chuck, and Blair are the only, and Rufus are the only 4 characters who actually have smarts this season. I'll probably have to reiterate this when we get to episode 20 and talk about that dumb moment with Nate. But still, 4 out of the main characters are the only characters who actually brought their who weren't actually dumbed down for the season for big plots. Elsewhere outside, William is on the phone with Carol. He explains that he can't just overturn the will because she's blackmailing him, and she replies that he can either pay for himself or get ready for the Vanderwoodson children to hate him. For Serena, Eric, and Lola to hate him. When she says children, I think she means Serena and Lola. She could mean Eric, but because Eric's no longer in the show, I don't know if she means him. I miss Eric. Why'd they get rid of him? Did the actor leave, or did they just know? Just like with Vanessa, they had no more storylines to do with Eric. I don't know. Like with Jenny's actress left to pursue a song career. Vanessa's actress left the show because they kind of felt like the writers and her felt like they had no more storylines for Vanessa to tell, even though they were writing a very good storyline with the author storyline, and they could have included Vanessa's actress in that. And with Eric, why he left the show, I don't know. I'll have to look into this. Will reminds her that Lily will never forgive her for basically sleeping with him. But Carol doesn't care. Because, of course she would. She already hates Lily to begin with. Why would she care if Lily hated her? She already hates Lily. Will. Carol already hates Lily. Why would she care if Lily would never forgive her? She already hates her. At the loft, Dan and Blair are finally alone. Blair says that every botched attempt at sleeping together that past month had brought them to a very potential problem, so they're finally ready. They begin to sleep together, but then several car alarms basically begin to sound, ruining their night. They cannot get time to each other. Maybe that's why Blair hates Brooklyn so much, because literally, she's in Brooklyn trying to sleep with her boyfriend Dan. Back at the Spectator, Serena receives a package. Nate asks her to consider taking it easy on Lola, but Serena doesn't want to hear it. Wait, where'd it go? but Serena doesn't want to hear it. She opens a package which contains the Gossip Girl laptop, and a note from Georgina telling her that the power of Gossip Girl is now in Serena's hand and warning her that the amenity is the key. I thought we already did this scene. So yeah, again, as I said previously, Georgina wants Serena to become the next Gossip Girl for whatever reason. At their meeting, Bruce Kaplan. I almost said Bruce Campbell. I almost said the actor Bruce Campbell. Bruce Kaplan tells Rufus and Lily that their only option would be proving Cece wasn't a sound of mind when she wrote the will. But everyone they talked to said her mind was sharp till the end, and she finishes that the court will only freeze the asset and grant her a hearing if the evidence of the wrongdoing was on Ivy's part. Lily says that, yeah, she pretended to be her niece, and that's wrong. Bruce says that the only evidence would work if Cece named Charlie in the will, but she didn't. She named Ivy. Lily's sure that Ivy did something illegal. They just need to find it. So yeah, I wish we could have gotten the scene. So when did Cece find out about Ivy's identity? It must have been between when Ivy went back to see how Cece was doing, because we did see that Cece did have a nightstand. Alignment of Grandma Stalker Grandma. They have a nightstand of them together, a framed photo of them together. So we don't know when that was taken. We just know that she had it before Cece died. So yeah, she could have found out between then. Okay. At the Vanderwoodens, Ivy is not having any luck finding designers or decorators since no one on the Upper Side will talk to her. Bullet shows up and offers to assist her. She says that she didn't do anything to stop Serena and Lily from blackmailing her, and Rufus suggests that they throw a party and everyone will come if it's a benefit for the C.C. Rhodes Cancer Foundation. He offers to make sure everyone will show up, but the party will succeed. No one will pay him, since so long as she pays him. At the Spectator, Nate is meeting with a new investor, James McKinsey. While touring the investor meets Serena, who's investigating the Gossip Girl laptop. Nate says her blog is one of the most popular, biggest assets. Mr. McKinsey is impressed and tells Nate that everyone is the official party. Nate thanks him and leaves. He notices Serena has a Gossip Girl up and asks if she's back. Serena says maybe, since she saw a new post about Ivy throwing a party in Cece's name. Nate says it's weird. He didn't get the black, but Serena says she'll probably get it soon. Nate goes off checking out a story, and Serena makes her first post as the new Gossip Girl about the party. So, yeah, Serena's new Gossip Girl. At the Empire, Lily calls the front desk to see if she can leave Will a message, since he was in his room. She sees him pulled up out in front and hangs up. She does them walk with Ivy and overhears her say that Lily RSVP'd and the plan is working. Will says that he still wants her check, but Ivy says she hasn't heard from Serena, and Will says that wasn't part of the agreement. But Ivy says she's lived there long enough to not write a check until they actually show up. And Will says he can see what he can do. And I wrote all of that. That was not in the original script. I wrote that by watching the scene again, because I knew there was something wrong when I checked this through. So I wrote that entire scene the way it was, the way the character said it, and the way it was written. I had to really watch that whole scene again. But anyway, yeah. Upstairs, and just to make sure it was perfect enough for you guys to watch. Upstairs in his suite, Chuck informs Jack that he talked to Nate, and while there was research done being on an article about him. It came out that Jack spent a year at the English boarding school. Chuck explains that spending more than 3 months in Europe from 1980 to 1996 prevented someone from donating blood in the United States. He asks if anyone asked about it, but Jack says they did, and he lied so he could save Chuck's life. Chuck accepts that and says he's headed to the hospital to check on the preparations for preparations for the night. At the Spectator, Lowell goes to see Nate. She explains to him what she saw between Ivy and Will. Nate tells her it's legal for a beneficiary to award an executor, but it would call the whole inheritance into question. He tells her to talk to Serena since what she saw was on the grounds to context of the will in court. He has to get to class and tells him to keep it to himself before leaving. At the law, Lily's looking through a box to find jewelry of Cece's that she could wear to the benefit to remind everyone who her true daughter is. Rufus finds a necklace and Lily responds that it's perfect. Finds a necklace and then says it's perfect. He says he bought them some privacy and Lily becomes excited thinking that they're moving into a hotel at Brooklyn. However, Rufus replies that she has enough stress and bought a room for Dan. At the hotel, Dan and Blair are ready with no interruptions. They then sleep together and afterwards both are quick to leave the bed and Blair gets ready to leave. They agree to see Dan at Ivy's party and once she's gone, both lean against the door, unhappy with the event that just transpired. Okay. Meanwhile, at the hospital, Chuck learns that his medical records are missing. The secretary can only find Jack's file, but she can't share them with him due to confidentiality. Chuck then says he wants to learn specifics that mention them in his speech. But the secretary confusedly asks if he's sure Jack is the one who gave him blood. She then says that she can't release Jack's file, but Chuck asks her to let the doctor know he wants to speak with him before the ceremony. She goes off to deliver the message. While she's gone, Chuck sits at her desk and looks into Jack's file. He sees that Jack has hepatitis C and therefore is an unacceptable blood donor. Back at the Spectator, Nate has told Serena what Lola saw. Serena doesn't believe him, and since Lola didn't tell herself, Nate says he won't write anything until what Lola said is confirmed. But Serena says he can't since it's her article. Again, Serena's going to be so dumb this season. Like, she doesn't believe that Will and Ivy had this conversation. Like, Serena, you are such an idiot this season. The writers have dumbed you down. Like these characters cannot see through lies or truth this season. Wow, am I upset at this. I didn't know this. When I first watched the season, I didn't see these, but now that I'm rewatching this for this review, I now see that, yeah, these characters have been written to be so dumb. It could be just me. To other people say, yeah. Nathan makes a decision to take her off the article, saying that she's too close to the situation. Serena then gets a call from Will, who asks if she's going to have a party. She says no, but Will reminds her that it's an event to honor her grandmother and that she should be there. Then Serena agrees to go, and once they hang up, it's shown that Will is with Lily, and he says that now they'll be able to need her to write the check. Lily Happy says it's proof she's engaging in legal activity, and the court will have to hear the case. Meanwhile, Serena is typing a Gossip Girl blast about Ivy bribing an executor and sets the timer to post at 8 o'clock that night. Blair goes to see the icon, Dorota, in her apartment in Queens. We finally get to see Dorota's apartment in Queens since it was given to her back in, season 2? Season 3? So Blair goes to give her a gift for her... gives her a gift for her new baby son, Leo. So, yeah, I guess Blair gave birth. Blair quickly realized the champagne glasses inside the box were legit and from her wedding to Louis. Blair quickly finds some vodka and says that they should break them in together. At the same time, Dan goes to see Nate, spectator, and asks if he can have a drink. He then helps himself some alcohol, and Nate has in his office. Nate asks if it's something to do with Blair, and Dan says they just need time for their relationship to find a groove. Nate deducts that Nate deducts that they have been sleeping together with bad. And Dan assumes that it's her that's bad at it. In Queen, Dorota asks if there's an anatomical reason Dan is so lonely. Yeah, literally, bro, yeah. Literally, Dorota only calls him Lonely Boy. So literally, her saying there must be a reason Dan is so lonely. But Blair says it's just the sex itself. It's not Dan. Not Dan's at the office, at Spectator. Dan tells Nate that it was terrible, and Nate replies that it's just him overthinking. In Queen, Dorota asks what Dan said, and Blair says it's only so-so. And Blair says she didn't, but Dorota says she needs to communicate with Dan, but to find answers. I just love Icon Dorota. She's the best character. At the office, Nate also suggests Dan to talk to Blair about it. That evening, Lily arrives at the party and runs right into Ivy, who thanks her for coming. She says cece would want them close, but Lily says they were only close before under Lily. Lily's like, Ivy's like, cece would want them to be close, but Lily's like, yeah, we were only close because you made us under false pretenses. Ivy then asked the photographer to take a picture of them for cece, and at the hospital, Chuck introduces a kid with leukemia named Michael Jack. He explains that he decided a blood drive would be better to thank you than a simple ceremony. Chuck then calls the name of the nurse over, but Chuck says he can't give the kids blood. Chuck then dismisses Michael and reveals that he paid a child actor he set up to make Jack confess that he can't donate blood. He then continues to say that he knows that Jack has hepatitis C, and since he doesn't have it, it's clear Jack didn't donate the blood. Back at the party, Will says that the party's set. He's a check now, and Ivy says she'll write him a check after she talks to Lauren Sandamigo, and runs off. Serena asks Lily how she's holding up, and Lily admits it's hard because she's taking it in stride. She explains that her and Will plan as Serena, and that he was willing to be removed as executor to help them. Serena asks what she's waiting for, and Lily says Ivy hasn't written a check yet, and warns her not to do anything to spook her from doing it. Serena checks the time, and she realizes that she has to stop. It's 7:56, and she realizes she has to stop the blast. She goes to find her old computer, but is stopped by someone who to hold her up for a minute. Downstairs, Blair arrives and sees Dan in the lobby. She asks what he's doing there, and she says he's going to a party. Blair drunkenly says that there's nothing to talk about, and Blair said agree. Upstairs, it's 7:58, and Serena finally gets away when she runs into Lola, who tries to tell her about Ivy. Before she can, the boss comes in and everyone sees. Serena knows she ruined everything, and Ivy confronts William and Lily for coming to humiliate her, and says she didn't bribe him. Will says that she tried to, but says that he offered, and they have no real proof she did anything. Serena begs Lola to come forward since her witnessing makes it so she's proof. She hesitates, saying it seems like Will was in on it, and Serena says that she sent them a tip, and it's Lola's chance to save their family. She can say that Lola doesn't know who her father is, and that the Vanderwoodsons are the only family she has. In the elevator, Dan says Blair's wasted, and he's drunker than she is. She then comes out and wasn't honest with him, and that the sex was terrible. Dan agrees and says it was boring, and that Blair's hoping it was good. Blair argues that it wasn't really good, and that she's really good out of it too, and that she'll prove it, and then they sleep together in the elevator. At the Empire, Jack admits that he has hepatitis C, and it hasn't slowed him down. Chuck Chuck says that she was going to try to cover the real donor, Elizabeth. He's just trying to cover for the real donor, Elizabeth. Jack confesses that she didn't want him to know, and Chuck replies that he wants to thank her, and Jack says she's unreachable, and it doesn't matter why he's alive, because he is. He then tells Chuck that they'll do it again on his turf next time, and leave. Back at the party, Serena, Lily, and William are about to leave the party when Ivy threatens to have security throw them out, but Serena says they're just waiting for the elevator. Lily promises that she'll be back because this is her home. Ivy announces that she cares about cece unlike them, and only came to debase her with more lies. Lily then chimes in saying that it wasn't a lie and that she heard Ivy offering to pay Will. Ivy says she didn't, and then they're just trying to set her up, but Lola replies that she only knows what she saw. Lily begins to call her lawyers to begin proceedings. Will says that the courts will decide if it's wrong, and the assets will, that for now, her assets are frozen. Ivy demands to know why Lola is taking her side. When Lily turned against her, Ivy says, "Yeah, why is Lola standing up for the Vanderwood when they're the ones who shut her out? When they're the ones who turned against her, but I turned against Ivy. But Lola says they're her family. At the Vanderwood, they're her family." William and Lola then leave, and downstairs Dan and Blair get into a cab and head for Williamsburg to drink more and then sleep together more. In the lobby, Will thanks Lola for coming forward. She apologizes for jumping to conclusion, and Will says it's hard to know what to think when no one really tells you the whole story. He tells her that Carol is concealing things because she thinks it will protect her. He encourages her to talk to Carol and work it out, since it took a long time for him to rebuild a relationship with Serena and Eric after many years. Lola wonders if her dad would want to know her. You're literally talking to your dad right now, Lola. And Will says that he's sure he does because he is her dad, but he doesn't say that. I say that. But he lets her have his cab and sends her off. Meanwhile, Serena goes to Spectator and sees Nate. He says that Mr. Kenzie saw the Gossip Girl blast and backed out, saying that Nate couldn't deliver. He can't be trusted with other things. Serena apologizes and says she wanted to help her family. Nate fires her. Nate says you're fired, and Serena grabs the Gossip Girl laptop and leaves. At the loft, Lily worries Ivy will drag out the case and suggests they find another apartment. Rufus says it took him a while to get issues up his side and helps Lily make some tea. At the Vanderwoods, Ivy is presented with the bill for her party. Since her assets are frozen, she asks if she can pay with her credit card, and the man says no. And Blair and Dan and Blair are still drunk, and they are sleeping together in an alley. At the Empire, Chuck calls his PI Andrew Tyler and tells him to track down Elizabeth. In the car, Jackson on the phone with a mysterious woman saying Chuck can't figure it out, he didn't go in the blood, and says they should come back. The mysterious person should come back and handle it themselves. In his room, Nate is with Lola and apologizes to her for telling Serena what he saw. She says it's okay, and she's glad everything is on the table. They begin to kiss, and when Nate gets a phone call from a possible new investor, Diana. At the Waldorf, Serena is writing a new Gossip Girl post when she gets a message from Gossip Girl Cell using the name XOXO4444, saying that, well, Serena's doing a pretty good job. She's not the real deal, and Gossip Girl would like her site back, please. Ending the episode.